What up, everybody? Spiritual experience. We are back. Spring is here. You know the vibes. Yup. What's going on, fama lambs? Let me shut off the speaker. Peekadoo. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's doing great. Everybody's blessed. It's had a busy couple of weeks, which is really good. I'm just checking in on you guys and letting you guys know what's going on. We have some good stuff happening in the pipeline. But first things first, you know, it's a Saturday afternoon. I've been working all day. I've been trying to, I've been just trying to hustle up, man. There's a lot going on, and there's good things, and there's things that, which is normal, things that I'm like avoiding. I just finished, hold on. I finished doing a little bit of sheetrock in my house. And I've never done any of that kind of stuff before, ever. And my buddy Alex, he helped me, which was nice. It was nice of him. And the good thing about him was like, the confidence that he had in just showing me and teaching me and me being teachable. He was just like, hey, man, if you could read a tape measure, you could fix a hole in the wall. And I'm just like, what? It can't be that simple, But it was, and it wasn't easy at all. And I did, I still don't think I did good at all, He was there with me for a little while. And then I went back and I did some stuff on my own. So now I just got to paint, which I know I cannot do. So I'm going to bring maybe my little one, my daughter, with me to paint the wall. And, and that's that. So, yeah, but it was nice to learn like a new skill. And I was like so hesitant because I'm like, all right, bro, I'm like in my fucking, I'm in my 40s, whatever. Do I want to learn how to do this, do anything? That's the big question. Do I want to learn how to do anything new? That is not like a passion. I mean, I hate when people say, oh, this is a passion project. And just use that word very loosely. But do I want to learn any new skills that are uninteresting to me but are very useful? Like learning how to fix my own walls. Now, I'm sure I could have paid somebody to do that. And I don't even know what it would have costed me, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe it would have been, I don't know. But it's okay. So, it's a little bit of a challenge just to, it wasn't a challenge to commit myself because, my friend, he kept me accountable. And he was like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And I was like, okay. I showed up like a little worker bee. And, I learned how to cut the sheetrock. I learned how to put it in there. And I guess, how to use that spackle shit and how to sand and make the wall smooth, prep it for paint and that kind of stuff. So, I guess, it felt good, but I'm not all the way there yet. Once the project is complete, then I'll be happy. The reality is I probably have to take a ride up there tomorrow, and just, button that whole thing up. And there's a lot of stuff in my life that I just have to button up, man. And I'm reevaluating how much of worky stuff I'm doing versus what I should be doing. In the sense of okay, I'm a big E-Myth guy. I shouldn't say that, but I am. I think I've read that book or I've listened to that book a bunch of times. And, the main focus of that book is that there is a difference between working on your business and working in your business, And I've spent a lot of time lately working in my business instead of working on my business. And I could equate that to recovery also, where it's just like, dude, am I working on my recovery or in my recovery? Am I living the principles that I want to live? I had a situation where, like, okay, my friend, my friend is he's an attorney, and he's defending somebody, and he asked for my help, to just do some brainstorming stuff. And I'm like, and it's so bizarre because for me, it's like, okay, is this pride? Is this ego? I don't know what this is, but dude, like when somebody, okay, so what's the rule? The rule is, apparently, somebody's innocent until proven guilty, right? I'm a big person that believes in that. Yeah, they're innocent until proven guilty, whatever. Because I know that police are corrupt and, the judges and everybody, bro, I don't know how much, in my experience, I don't know how much justice they're interested in or how many cases they want to clear. It's similar to if you get an audit by the IRS, I don't know how much they want your money versus how much they just want to clear these cases, So it's that kind of thing where it's like very detached from reality. So I'm going to go on like full speculation mode here on why he asked for my help. I should just ask him why he asked for my help. So anyway, he's defending a bad guy. He's defending a bad guy because that's his job. But he's so detached that he's like, like for me, I don't feel comfortable defending a bad guy. Like I just don't. Like I don't feel comfortable helping him defend a bad guy. And in his mind, he's like, oh, well, it's almost like if you ask me to help you do your job. I'm like, yeah, but my job doesn't involve, people that are, that are feeding off society. It just doesn't, And it was so weird how that happened. So, yeah, so I had mixed feelings about it. Mixed feelings. It's almost like, you're helping somebody get a murderer off. Now, this person wasn't a murderer, but, and he wasn't a child molester or anything like that. Even though one time he did ask us for help with that, just with my girl translating. And that was like the worst thing ever. It doesn't matter how much money somebody pays us. We almost don't even want to participate in that kind of stuff. If you're defending, somebody like that. And it's so weird. So who am I really? Am I judging? I mean, I'm definitely judging, but it's a tough spot to be in because, I can almost just say, look, I don't get paid for that stuff and I'm uncomfortable and I don't want to do it. And then it makes me question myself where I can, like, who am I? I am who I am today, but, I remember at one point I was not this person and, I definitely could have, I definitely was somebody who committed crimes. I remember when I first got sober, my sponsor was just like, oh, you're a criminal. It's like, what? I am not a criminal, bro. He's like, yeah, the definition of a criminal is somebody who commits crimes. I was like, oh, I'm a criminal. Look at that. So even though I'm very far removed from that lifestyle and that kind of thing, it's just so negative. And maybe I don't even know how to describe it. In the sense, it's like, okay, this guy was like taking advantage of women and sending him out there to work for him. You know what I'm talking about. And so, how do we make it, or how do we make it look like it was a mutually beneficial thing? And even though it might have been, and to some degree, like, the guys that do that kind of work, in my mind, they're the dregs of society. People who look in the underbelly for people who are really suffering, and then, maybe wave a carrot that would offer them a way out, and then all they do is just like totally take advantage of them. You know, just totally. And I've taken advantage of people in my life too. I'm a human being. But where I'm at right now, I was just like, so listen, I'm not a lawyer in any way, but I was just giving him possibilities of what I thought about some kind of defense, considering what he had also. And my reason why I think that he asked me for help is because I used to, I'm very familiar with somewhat how the streets go, and some of the rules of the street. Now, I don't know what these new school rules are, but I know what in my day, what the rules are, what the protocols were, and that kind of thing, So, yeah. So I wrestled with it, and to go into the particulars, I don't even think legally I'm allowed to. But, it was just, it didn't sit well with me. It just didn't. It didn't sit well with me. So he owes me a burger, whatever he's going to do. And next time he asks me for help, if it's that, I'm not in a position where I can help him, and it sucks. It sucks, man. Because I would want to help him. But I'm like, bro, you're getting paid to help. I am not getting paid to help. And I don't even want to help this guy. So in my mind, like, I can't even imagine having that kind of job where you have to defend criminals. And this is like the American way, where everybody gets, allegedly a fair trial. Even people who commit like hate crimes. You go and you, I don't know, what can I say? Maybe you find like some Bangladeshi guy or some white guy or whatever. You attack somebody based on their race or their heritage, and you just stomp them out or kick the shit out of them into the ground. You're going to get a lawyer. And even if it's all on tape and you are 1,000% guilty, that lawyer's job is to try and get you the best favorable, I'm not going to say justice because that's not the right word. The justice is that you should go to jail. You should be under the jail. You do stuff like that. But, yeah. So he's a lot more spiritually fit than me because he has seen and dealt with things that I wouldn't say make pretend, but I just, it's not part of my life. So, it's almost like if you have a friend who's in the police department and he just tells you about, like, every day he's just dealing with the dregs of society. I had a friend who was a detective. And, like, he'd show up to work not knowing what's going to be there. They'd send him to some fucking crime scene, and there'd be a 9-year-old girl hanging from the ceiling. Dead. And that was his, and I can't even fathom living a life where that's what you see. And then you got to go solve those kind of crimes, right? So he would tell me, he's like, listen, nobody in the community wants to help the police. Nobody does. But then they don't want the crime. So it's a very sad situation. And there's no real street justice. Like, that is all based on bullshit and movies and whatever. Maybe like young kids that are just gunning each other off the corner, kids that are in the game or whatever. But listen, somebody kills a child, nobody's going to go and kill the guy. And nobody's going to not tell the police go and kill that person. I think Jay-Z said it one time. He was like, dude, how can everybody be all the street shit and fucking Zimmerman from the Trayvon case? They're still walking around, like you guys will shoot each other off the corner. But here's somebody who took the life of a young kid. And, and it's not right. And so part of me, now I'm going into tangent land. I'm sorry. Part of me has, like, I wouldn't say these fantasies, yeah, there's dreams and there's visions, right? So I have like these visions, maybe. Yeah. You guys let me know what they are. Where I've had thoughts of me when I get older. You know, what if something should happen? Maybe I have like stage 4 cancer or something. And I'm going to die in 6 months or 3 months or whatever. I would go and find somebody where there should be some justice to be served. And I would go and contemplate serving that justice. And there's justice that has gone unchecked in my own life. So, you know, maybe I would do something like that. You know, because, these people, like, you know, sometimes they just get off on these technicalities. You know, and it's sad because people get hurt. People get hurt. And there's innocent people in jail too. And there's a lot of guilty people in jail too, you know. So, yeah, it was like a moral and emotional dilemma. And on top of that, I couldn't say no. I helped them for like 3 days or 4 days. Because a lot of times these things don't go to trial. They just cut a deal. And that's it. So, you know, it's the spiritual part of my life. Like, how do I live with who I am and what I've done? No, I definitely didn't help him get this guy off. I don't even think the guy's going to get off. Just me even participating, it left me a little bit uneasy. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's, I guess that's growth. I don't know what that is. But it's like, you know, it's who do I want to be? Would I feel comfortable telling, I mean, I told my girl a little bit about the case and what was going on, and she was disgusted. You know? So, there's that. So do I want to, like, is it something that I would be embarrassed or ashamed to share with my kids? Like, hey, your dad is helping this person with this thing. And, and I think I have to start just surrendering more to that compass and just saying, nah, dude, I can't fucking do it. I just can't. I know why I can't. I don't want to be like, oh, I don't know why I can't. You know, I know why I can't because, man, the Lord is in my life and good things are in my heart. And maybe I want to avoid all of this negativity and the sad parts of the world. Like just, you know, avoid it, I guess. Or I shouldn't say avoid it. I don't want to participate. Yeah. And all of this happened like against my will. You know, these types of changes that go on in my life, you know, from, you know, going to meetings, doing the step work, you know, doing this kind of analysis with my sponsor. I mean, I haven't even spoke to him about it yet because it doesn't really matter. I can call him now and he's just going to be like, what's going on? I'll tell him and I'll tell him I already made a decision to not participate anymore. You know, should the opportunity happen again. I'm like, yeah, I can't do it, you know? And my friend, he's not even going to give a fuck. He'll be like, all right, I get it. Like, you know, and that's it, you know? So that's the thing. It's like, you know, you get these principles and these morals or whatever, like against your will. You know, you just do this stuff and then you have this life. You know, I just had one of my sponsees celebrate a whole year. The guy got his first year of recovery, first year sober. It was amazing. It was really good. And I went to the anniversary and he had some good speakers and I gave him a coin, I gave him a hug, and I loved the guy and his wife was there and his kid was there. And like this guy was a stone cold loser when I met him, you know? And now he's a little bit dignified. He's, you know, halfway through the step work and he's changing his life. He's changing his perspective on life. And the way that happens is similar to what I just spoke about. You change your perspective and then it means nothing until you start taking actions. And you take actions based on your new perspective and then you get a new life and a new outlook on life. and then you get to walk in the sunshine, so shout out to him for a whole year. Meanwhile, we have another kid in our group, my boy Harris. Oof, his mama just died, and this kid he's inside of his first year, and, he's in rough shape because anybody's in rough shape when they lose a parent or they lose somebody close. And there's family involved, and I'm sure they're breaking his fucking balls and this and that and whatever. And he's not drinking. He is not drinking, and that is amazing. And he's sad, and rightfully so. He shouldn't not be sad, and he shouldn't. My prayers are with him. My love is with him, and I just hit him up. And that's the thing, is that in recovery we have a whole network of like family that will help you make great. You never have to be alone. Like, you don't get any, there's no points of just drudging and doing it by yourself like you're making some kind of penance or something. Like, you don't get points for that. Shout out to my boy Kurt. I was speaking to him the other day while I was driving. We kept losing each other. I was going through the mountains. He was going through the mountains. And he's got a great podcast, Schooled by Mr. Bascom. And, yeah, we were talking about that. We were just talking to each other about, how, raising kids and, what things can be done right, what things can be done wrong. And, and humility, humility. And, yeah, it's like knowing when you're wrong. Or just accepting when you are, even if you don't know that you are. So, it's good to be on this side of the coin. It really is. So, yeah. You have this new life. I have this new life. And I constantly I'm putting pressure on myself. And I know I'm not the only one. And I can't turn it off. I can turn it off temporarily, and all it does is just pile the shit up and make it worse. That's the only thing it does. So I got to face all the stuff that I got to face. So I have to make a list. I have to check in with people, and which is good. I have to run things by people. Like, my interpretations of what's going on is not always accurate. It's not. So if I just run things by somebody like, oh, I feel overwhelmed because of this, that, and the third, they could be like, hey, listen, that actually sounds like a lot. And if maybe you do this or that, it will make things easier. Or they can just offer me help and say, hey, look, do you need help? And I can help you. And that's nice. And they don't really want anything in return, in that way. Like my friend that helped me with the sheetrock shit. I don't know. I kept trying to pay him. He didn't want money. He didn't want fucking money. I was like, dude, we got to get squared away. This, that, whatever. I bought him a bunch of pizza pie. I bought him a box of cigars, which is nice. And I think I can just be his friend, which is good too. And, he left the tools in my house, and I had to bring the tools back to his house. So it's similar to my other boy, my boy Ammer, that helped me put together some of the stuff in my work. Like, another guy, I have too many good people, and, and I'll help them any way that I can. But I also believe in what's fair is fair. So, like, he wouldn't take any money. His brother wouldn't take any money. I mean, they did a lot of work helping me, And it's maybe because I helped them, too. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Because maybe that's the way that we believe the world should be. Like, I have a skill. I can help you. You can help me. And because I know them, for a long time, for years. And that's okay. And nobody's, like, really keeping score. But, I showed up after the job was everything done when Amber and his brother, whatever. And I got him a fucking Derucci Sherling fucking jacket. which was nice. And I said, if it doesn't fit, you can go there. And this is the owner. Shout out to Darucci down on Orchard Street. They're like everything. I remember that kid. He didn't really have a lot of stuff going on, and now he's like super worldwide. And I'm so happy to support that. So that's where I buy my jackets. I got leather bombers with the fox fur. I got all that lovely street shit, you know. And I say, yes, and go see Zoe. That's the guy's name. His name is Zoe. And if it doesn't fit, he'll work it out with you. And he did. And hopefully, he's he gets whatever coat he wants. I just had to pick it out. His brother wouldn't even. His brother was like, "Yo, listen, he ain't really gonna take that stuff." I had to like force him. So a similar thing. I just like I don't know. I like to be fair, or I like to feel good. I guess I don't want anything. Listen, if somebody asks me to do a bunch of shit, if I offered to do something, that means I'm offering to do it. But if you ask me to do something, I'm going to say, okay, this is how much it costs. I had somebody that I'm friendly with that he runs an appliance repair business, and he's a great fucking guy. And he fixes my appliance in my house a couple of times, and I pay him. He's like, this is how much the part costs, this is how much labor, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, great. So then when he calls me for me to send a guy to his house to do some stuff, he has to pay. And that's a different thing. That's a different thing. Now, if he needed help and I could help him in another way, then it's a different thing. But the one is business, one is friendship. Yeah. So it's just nice to not live my life alone. Because I'm incapable of doing that. Even if I had a very regular vanilla kind of life, where let's say I had a regular job and I just punched in and punched out, like my brain still doesn't work. My brain will work pushing me towards trouble. I have like this tendency to go negative and go towards trouble. I just fight my way into the light pretty much every day. And I get there. I got to trick myself into doing it. You guys know I don't have to keep beating you over the head. Exercise, meditation, prayer, meetings, and just being good to everybody. It feels nice to be good to people. And, now it's natural because now it's part of my personality. But initially, I couldn't even wave at somebody I didn't know. I wave at people all the time now. Because it's not a bad way to be. It's not a bad way to be, man. And we are on the brink. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know what's going on with this country. I don't know what's going on with this country. It's getting fucking crazier and crazier. Orange boy on trial, dementia patient in the White House. Fucking, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. All the, I don't believe in the system or the people who are in the system. I just don't believe in them, man. They're just way too selfish. And they have access. They're way too human in that sense. And they have access to things that us regular people don't. Like, I follow, there's a good Twitter account if you ever want to really get angry. So it's called Unusual Whales. I think that's the name of it, Unusual Whales. Let me double check, just so I could be like a little bit of a fucking asshole here. An asshole. Yeah, but these people like they're animals, right? So let's see. Yep, Unusual Whales. Okay. This is it's follows it's like an investment financial kind of page. It's pretty good. Like I'm telling you, they don't give a lot of financial advice. It's not that kind of stuff. Like there's Reddit pages for all of that shit. But an example was, they put out there, and I shared this with my friend, because my friend I have friends that are super duper liberal. Like it's fucking annoying. And then I have, friends on the other side of the spectrum. I'm like in the middle. I'm very disappointed, but not surprised but still very angry at liberals and Democrats in general. I mean, there's some that are in my sphere that are practical, but the arrogance that they have, a lot of them, like they know fucking everything. And if you don't agree with them, then you're stupid. Like that's like a very, just even that attitude doesn't jive with me. You know, like one of my, the same, my super liberal friend. And he's like one of my closest friends. Like, I take like nootropics, brain function, all kind of stuff, right? He thinks it's like hocus pocus. He just thinks that, I was like, bro, you know what? Why don't you ask your doctor if they're effective before you say no? Because you do like one Google search. But meanwhile, this guy's got every fucking booster under the sun. And he believed that masks work and all this other shit, that the logical stuff. So he's like in a sphere of that. And I'm in the other sphere, I'm in the other sphere. And like, I think it's almost like an echo chamber. Yeah, the two of us are in echo chambers. Anyway, so what does it say? Unusual whales. Breaking news. Numerous congressional members are once again being seen stock trading, during crisis, specifically the banking crisis. Nicole Malliotakis, that lady, I couldn't even vote for her. She's a fucking animal. Nicole Malliotakis buying NYCB up 40% after the bank taking signatures deposits. She reported this transaction as her spouse's, yet she is unmarried. That's pretty, yeah. Because it all has to be, after the fact. They have to report it. Congressman Blumenauer, I don't even know how to say, Blumenauer, Blumenauer, I don't know, is a member of the House Ways and Means Committee and a senior member of the Budget Committee. He sold $15,000 in BAC. What is that? Bank of America? Let me see. Saving himself the massive March drop, and he sold one day before the SIVB collapse, and he sold FRC on March 20th before a 47% drop. Another guy, John Curtis, sold BAC. That I think that is Bank of America. Let me just, and the other one, FRC, is First Republic, because the banking sector is taking a fucking duty. And it's so crazy because I bought some UBS puts thinking UBS is going to go fucking down too. And they're not, they're fucking going up. So that's Bank of America Corp. Yeah, it's BAC and FRC. I know it's First Republic. It's funny, I met somebody who works at First Republic the other day, right? So yeah, it's First Republic Bank. So these banks are crashing, and these people in Congress know what's going on, and none of them are financial fucking wizards, and they're there selling their shit one day before the collapses. And this is on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. They're all fucking doing it. I always talk about Nancy Pelosi and the guy with the patch, Dan Crenshaw. The guy was a Navy SEAL. All of a sudden, he's fucking crushing the stock market better than these guys at Goldman Sachs who are CFAs, Certified Financial Analysts. Is that what it is? That's what it stands for? I want to confirm that because I know there's like different levels. There's like level 1, level 2. Sorry, I'm going into the weeds here, but this type of shit, level 1. Let me see. Yeah, there's 3 levels. CFA, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, what does CFA stand for? Well, the level 3 salary. Oh, that's crazy. What does CFA? I think it's Certified Financial Analyst. Meaning. A chartered financial analyst, excuse me. But certified financial analyst. It's fucking insane. Anyway, so these guys who work in these investment banks. That's like one of the things that they get aside from like risk management type of shit, analysis, whatever. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Look, I'm thinking UBS is going to go down. That shit is fucking running. And thank God I didn't put a lot of money on the table, $500, and it's going to the fucking shit house. But hopefully the banking sector will keep collapsing. Damn, this thing is at fucking $22, and I want it to go down to 17. So I got a long way to fucking go. Yeah, it's very bad. Either way, okay. So, yeah. So it's that kind of system of arrogance and that kind of system of entitlement that we live in. Yeah. And this is why I don't believe in I don't believe in 100% the judicial system. I don't believe, I'm happy the police are there. Yeah. I was telling my girl too, because we were talking about the same thing that I started with, that trial stuff, and how when I got called for jury duty, that I felt powerful because I cannot serve on a jury. And this was a murder case. I was like, absolutely not. And they're like really pushing you to serve, But I went and I saw the judge. First of all, it was an emotional thing. I can have a whole episode on what that jury selection process was, and it killed like a whole fucking day. They don't even let you leave. It was crazy. I wanted to just run away until you're dismissed. It's fucking stupid because I already like dismissed myself. Anyway, so I went and I stood in front of the judge, in front of the prosecutor, in front of the police, in front of the defendant. Like, I had to get up and go talk to them. And I stood right there and I said, listen, I cannot be on a jury because there's no way I can be impartial. And they're like, why don't you believe that you can? I said, because I don't believe in the system. I believe the police are corrupt. I believe the prosecutors and the district attorneys are very corrupt. And I said, I started with no offense. I said, I have every encounter that I've had with the police has been super negative. Every single one. Every single one. Well, one maybe wasn't, but that's a different story. That was when I was a kid. But yeah. Yeah, so there's no way I could be impartial. And this is a murder case, so this guy could get off because I think cops a lot of times they're pieces of shit. And let me tell you, I know a bunch of them personally. The ones that I know, bro, they're human also. So that means that they have the capacity, and some of them are pieces of shit, similar to all these people in Congress, similar to the fucking president. It's like people talk shit about, Republicans, like all the Democrats are so lovely, or vice versa, And all they're trying to do, all of them, is just they're all trying to oppress us for their own control issues and financial gain. That's all they're trying to do. And they're trying to let us not work with each other and trying to let us not love each other. And love is the answer. And we just need to work together down here, and do the best we can with each other and for each other without any kind of, even if you have judgment, you do the right thing and you help somebody anyway, I'm not going to help no fucking defendants. There's other people that can do that, and I'm grateful that they're there. And I'm grateful I don't have to be there. It's not my thing. But I can definitely help the rest of you, and at the same time help myself. And that's it. The answer is love, man. That's the whole fucking thing. That's the whole thing. Love and humility, and that's it. And live with your shame. It's okay. That's the other thing. It's okay to feel ashamed. You should feel ashamed. You should. We all do shameful shit. So you should feel, if you don't feel ashamed, then you're a fucking sociopath or a narcissist or whatever. You should feel ashamed. Just don't do it again. That's it. Let that shame keep you from not doing it again. That's a big motivator for me. Anyway, I'm going to tap out. Don't forget to like and subscribe all podcast platforms. The intro music today was El Benson by Patchy Man, which was dope. It's a little bit of dub action. I've been on the dub shit lately, trying to stay positive while I work. So Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Google, share all the episodes, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace. Okay, everybody, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the spiritual experience. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Pandora, everywhere. And please find us on Facebook, where you can become part of our family. We'll see you around.